The fear of rejection has stolen more from you than rejection, the actual rejection, ever will. Today on the Sales Life Podcast, we're going to help you deal with the rejection. So stay tuned. All right, TSL Nation, let's get it. Welcome back to another episode of the Sales Life. I created the Sales Life simply to sell you on you. Because see, the sales life is a never settle mentality. You don't get in life what you deserve. You get in life what you negotiate. And good or bad, if you have a deserving mentality, that means that you're going to settle. That means if you're being kicked down the road, that you're going to settle and say, oh, well, it's not for me. That means also, though, if you're doing super well and you feel like that you deserve this, then you're going to shield yourself off from opportunities as well, too. So this is why you have to never settle, and you got to keep selling your way through life. If you've been down or if you're up, keep selling no matter what. And so you've got to take the skills that we learn in the sales profession, what I call the 8 C's. That's communication, connection, curiosity, consistency, continuous learning, creativity, being coachable, handling the criticism. Skills that you already have access to that we learn by the profession, and apply those to your personal life as well. See, you already have access to these things. In each and every episode, man, I'm going to help you ignite one or more of these. So if this is your first time here, be sure and hit the subscribe button. So happy that you're actually here. And today, man, like I said, we're going to deal with how to deal. We're going to deal with how to deal with rejection. Rejection is super, super, super heavy in our lives, man. Super heavy. And so, like I said from the get-go, man, the fear of rejection has stolen more from you than the actual rejection ever will. And when it comes to rejection, think about it. Turn my little ticker on here. When it comes to rejection, man, you got to think about it. The thought of it weighs more heavily than the actual result itself. Because many times as you're going into the rejection point of it, what are you primarily thinking about? You're primarily thinking about, what do I do from here? What do I do afterwards? And we don't want to stand there and look stupid after being physically rejected. So many times what we do is we tell ourselves no, versus letting others tell us no. And this is what I call those MMA. And the MMA is the motion of the moment afterwards. So as I'm leading up to it, like I said, rejection, the thought of rejection has stolen more from you than actual rejection ever will. Always keep that in mind. The thought of rejection will steal more from you. The anticipation of rejection will steal more from you than the actual rejection ever will. Because let me tell you something, on the other side of rejection, you're always going to live. You're going to be just fine. So, but it's the MMA moments, man. It's the motion of the moment afterwards. That's what we fear most. Because after I get told no, what do I do from here? Where do I go from here? What do I say from here? And this is why we pull up. See, when I'm physically told no, our voice or physically, when I'm told no, let me say that. Then we're left standing there and we're just like, it's awkward. What do we do? And dude, I've worked with many salespeople who they don't do well on the phone, and they don't like doing follow-up phone calls or calling customers that have been here before. They don't like doing that. And the reason being is because they don't know what to say after I'm being rejected. After the customer says, well, Marsh, you know, I bought somewhere else, or I'm going to hold off, or no, I haven't made a decision yet. That's a rejection. And so because we don't hear the immediate yes, we don't know what to do the moment afterward, the MMA, the motion of the moment afterwards. So we kind of fearfully just, oh, okay, well, let me know. And then we never call them again. And this is why I think many times what happens is people, what they do is most people, text messaging has become a blessing and a curse. It's become a blessing in the sense that for a fast-paced life, dude, you can quickly send a message out. Cool. But it's become a curse in your sales life also. It's become a curse because what happens is most people would rather, what they're trying to do is they're trying to create some separation between where they are and where that person is. And the way that you create the distance, the emotional distance, okay, is through words. Because I'd rather read the rejection than actually feel it. So here's what I want you to do, man. I want you to give your rejection a different treatment. Give your rejection a different treatment. So, you know those hot oil treatments that women get to heal broken ends, broken edges? I want you to give your rejection a different treatment to take care of those broken dreams. Because, see, you've got to treat the rejection differently in order to get different results. The only way that you're going to do that sounds simple. Treat the rejection as if it never happened. See, you're going to tie a different an emotion to it because you're going to think of it differently. See, think about it like this. If I never ask, if I see somebody in the distance and I'm thinking about, okay, I'm going to go ask them, but then I don't do it. It never happened, right? It's the same thing what you have to do in the same way that you have to treat rejection when you do take that bold step. On the backside of it, treat it as if it never happened. Because what's going to be different, here's the twist. You're going to treat it as if it never happened. Treat it as if it's the same, though the results won't be the same. This is super, super key. You better listen to me well. Treat the rejection as if it's the same, as if it never happened, as if I never did it, though the results that you receive won't be the same. Because, see, the irony to it all is regrets last forever. Embarrassment is temporary. It's just a moment. And so what you have to do is you have to flex your ask muscle. You do. See, ask is a flex. And the more you flex the ask, the stronger and more confident that you're going to be. But you got to flex it. This is why I say you're going to treat it the same, though the results won't be. Because through the repetition, that's the key to success. Reps, reps, reps. Ask, ask, ask. You have to flex that, man. It's a muscle. You flex the ask. And as you do so, the more you ask, the more repetitive it gets, the more you distance yourself from the emotion. Because you've been in this situation before. I know what to do from here. See, this is why people, they don't do well in certain situations. They don't do well in certain situations because they will not purposefully put themselves in those situations. And if you're never in those situations, how will you be able to calmly go through those situations? This is why you see athletes that, I mean, they just have ice running through their veins. You're like, how in the hell are they able to take, 0.5 seconds left in a game and they're just cool and collected? How do they do that? It's because they put themselves in that situation. And because when you keep inserting yourself, even though you put yourself in this rejection zone, you put yourself in that zone, it's cool. But the more I do that, the more I'll know what to do from there. Now, initially, dude, it's not like it's just going to come to you all of a sudden. It's not going to. It's something that you have to keep flexing. But the more that you actually do that, the more things kind of slow down. And so when you get told no, cool. In my mind, it's as if I never asked. But you'll be so confident as you do this. Practice this, man. Your lead into it. When you start to feel that thing bubble up, I don't want to make this phone call. I don't want to ask this boss. I don't want to ask her for a number. I don't want to ask the customer to buy again. They already told me don't push me. The more you do this, and because you've been in that situation, it becomes familiar. The unfamiliar becomes familiar. You'll grow more confident. And let me tell you something, dude. People buy confidence. They buy that confidence. So much so that think about when you're on that swag patrol, man. When you're just doing super, super good, right? I mean, you're on a roll. It's as if you could just look at somebody and they buy from you. You could just not even dial the numbers all the way and they're already saying yes. You could just smile and they give you the number. You've had those swag moments. It's that confidence. And people, that confidence is infectious. And so the more that you put yourself, you insert yourself in this rejection zone. And because you treat it differently, because I know if I treat it differently, then the results won't be the same. I'm tired of the results I'm getting, Marsh. I'm tired of just barely getting by. Then you got to treat the rejection differently. You got to put a different treatment on that thing. And the more you do this, I keep building this up. This is what I'm going to drop on you. The more you do this, this is where people all of a sudden say, you know what? I don't normally do this, but here's what I'm going to do. This is where people make exceptions for you. This is where the path, people just start getting out of your way. It's because I flexed the ask. I treated the rejection differently. It's just a moment. In worst case scenario, it's as if it never happened. Best case scenario, look at what will happen. So let's do this. Let's rock out with the TSL item of today. Number one, like, share, and comment. If you found value, be sure and subscribe so that way you can get alerted to any future episodes. But your TSL action item of today, man, what are you going to ask for? Put yourself in that rejection zone. And what I want you to do is I want you to put some treatment on that rejection. Give that rejection a hot oil treatment. Make it different. And the results are going to be different too. Remember, the greatest sale that you'll ever make is to sell you on you because you're more than enough. Stay amazing. Stay in the sales life.